Hello, and thank you for joining me tonight. I go by Lune INNATE, and this is Chapter 8 to the Dynamic Thought or Creative Consciousness series that I've been trying to keep up with. This chapter is a lot to do with the fact, the author calls it a square deal. This chapter opens with speaking on how there's all these, gurus, or I don't even know if you call it a guru, but people who share about the law of attraction. And it's like, all you have to do is think, set your mind, think, and sit around and all the success, all the things that you would desire. That's all you have to do, just think about it. But that's not the case. And even in this example, the people who are preaching this law of attraction thing are working by preaching this law of attraction thing. If the law of attraction worked that way, wouldn't they not have to work? If it worked that way and we could all master it, life would be so dull and boring. Life, as the author states, is about action. So this chapter kind of starts to cover that, don't expect to get something without effort. The square deal is that what you get, what you put out and you get in return. Now that doesn't necessarily mean you have to go spend a lot of money on something, or that you need to work at a job for 80 hours a week for you to be compensated the way that you want to, or whatever the case may be, for you to have the lifestyle that you want, or for you to be repaid. It's more along the lines of value. We want to put out value and effort, certainly effort. You can't be a musician and then not put yourself out there and make music and put it out there. Same can be true for any field. You can't be an expert baker without first, learning how to cook, or at least teaching yourself. So there's always going to be action that follows the law of attraction. The law of attraction begins with our thoughts, but it doesn't end there. It ends by carrying out through the law of correspondence, as above, so below, and carrying out into our lives. What we think here, we become and we act upon, and thus we attract. Or if you want to look at it the way I like to look at it, is that we align with what our goals and desires are. Our goals and desires are there. We attract them by changing to that vibration. But what we're really doing is aligning ourselves to mesh with them, so that it works, so that we can be together. Believing you can succeed in whatever you want to do is extremely important. Having those thoughts, visualizing what you're drawing to you, what you're becoming, what you're projecting yourself into, is very significant. However, there's going to be an action that you have to take. While we've talked about this before, but as we're aligning with our goals, we're going to have these flashes of inspiration, or we're going to meet the people that we should be meeting and talking to and connecting with and working together on a project, or getting an idea from. All of these things are action-based. Another example is having an idea, right? How many of us have great ideas all the time? I feel like I've had a billion great ideas that if I had put them into the right action, whether that be an idea for an app or a book or a product or a service or an event or anything, that's just what my mind can come up with. I'm sure yours can come up with much more, or other things. But if I'm not putting it into action, if I'm not actually creating, if I'm not actually writing the song or writing the guided meditation or recording the video, then it's not going to, I don't deserve anything for it. I don't deserve to be paid for something that I had an idea for. The work is in getting it out and making it and patenting it and all that. People build businesses and then they sell the business. They don't sell the idea of the business. That makes no sense, People don't buy stuff like that. You're not going to make a lot of money that way. And you hear a lot of people talk like this too, like, oh, I saw that and I had that idea years ago. And it's like, oh, well, you know what? Who cares? This guy did it. This lady did it. And now she's reaping the rewards from it because she did the effort. She put the action out. Even if her action was hiring other people to help her, that's still action. That's still getting it all together. So it's just something to keep in mind. It's more than just thinking. Now we're speaking on I don't want to confuse you, because I'm not saying that the thought part is not important. That's a huge part of it, but just don't expect there to not be an action that follows or that is necessary for you to reach these goals. The author goes in to speak a little on how the world is crying for honest doctors, lawyers, people with integrity that are in positions that can either, potentially very much help someone, or that doesn't really help them and is just kind of taking their money. Your integrity, your genuine nature, your sincerity for all that you do is very valuable. That alone adds value to what you're trying to market or sell or project or work towards in your career or your family life, or whatever the case may be for you. If that's not there, then there's no backbone to what you're doing, to what you're focusing on. And it's not going to come to you. And if it does, it's going to fade very quickly. It's like someone who's selling a crap product, just as an example. Before long, they're not going to be selling that anymore. It might be like trendy or something that's like new, so people buy it right away. But when they find out that like straightening brush or like whatever it is doesn't work, they're not going to buy it. And then you're going to be, there's that salesman that's just like, they can't sell the product now, So there needs to be substance. You need to be giving your best, giving your all in a sense, giving your true energy, your true love, you could say, into whatever you're trying to accomplish or create or anything along those lines. This book also goes in now, or in this chapter rather, to talk about the law of compensation. And this is kind of along with Hermetic principle. I guess you would call this the law of cause and effect, but it's more specific, I guess you could say. And it doesn't necessarily mean compensation as in money, although that certainly is compensation. That's an exchange of energy. But the law of compensation is, you get what you put out. You get the amount that you put out. I don't know if you've ever watched like the Cosmos show, but they have that like he puts like he's in a room where they have like a big bowling ball and a string or a cord, and he holds it like up to his face, and it's gonna swing like super far back, and he lets it go, and it swings forward, and it comes back, and it's just like, you think like, oh my god, this bowling ball is gonna take out his teeth. But it just, it doesn't go further than where it was released from. Something cannot gain more force without the force that you put into it. Now, you can take that information, but also, of course, apply to it the fact that things do gain momentum, but they're going to gain momentum from other areas that you're contributing, whether that be getting more people on board to put more energy into a project that you're doing, or just working on your resources. Like me, for example, like this is what I love to do. My passion is sharing things with people. However, like girls gotta eat, So like I have this channel that's monetized, and like hopefully like down the road that will be something that will be significant for me, or a portion of what I need. I have my services that I offer, and those are all accumulative of my main goal, of my main core, of what makes me happy and what my passion and what I feel my purpose is. So it doesn't necessarily mean that it won't increase, but there has to be things that you do to fuel this, to keep it going, and to help things grow. That could be if you're thinking about your health. How is your health going to be compensated? What are you going to put out to get in return for your health? That could be exercise, diet, the vitamins that you're taking, the people that you're spending time with, and what their hobbies like to do. Like sometimes we have groups of friends who meet at the bar, and like, is that good for your health? Like, no, it's probably not. Then you have a friend who maybe is like, let's go get a wheatgrass and go for a walk. And it's like, okay, so maybe this is good for my health. So you can think about it in that way too. It's not just compensation as in money. It's compensation as in return. Give the world your best, and you will get back the best from it. You can't expect to do anything half-assed and reach the goal or the level that you want to, unless you don't really have that high of a level, I guess you could say. But this is all about self-mastery and, ideal success. So I'm sure that, you're not in a place where you're like, oh, I'll settle for there. I'll settle for just making it. Like, nobody wants to just make it, We might want to get there if we're below there right now. That would be like a nice little goal for, it's a relief of sorts. But then beyond that, we want to reach points in our lives where we're able to help other people, where we're able to lend a hand in other ways or in many ways, or when we have a cause that we want to get behind, we can donate towards, or anything along that nature. You know, we don't want to be breaking even. I guess everyone's different. I shouldn't say it that way, but I don't want to break even, you know. I want to be in a position where I can help lots of people and I'm comfortable and I can provide for my son the way I want to, and all of those things, you know, that's what I want in my life. The end of this chapter states, just leave those past failures behind. There's nothing to attach to there. You know, you might have learned a lesson, but moving beyond, like there is no failure anymore. There's an affirmation which I'm going to read to you, and then we'll get into the meditation part. So this week's affirmation is, I give to the world the best I have, and the best comes back to me. Super simple. Then visualize yourself giving the very highest and best service of which you are capable, and then picture the highest good coming back to you in return. Make this mental picture very real. It will have a great effect for good in your life. As a visualizing exercise, take a flower and picture its growth backwards, from the full bloom right back to the planted seed. I'm going to darken the screen and read this meditation to you, but again, just as a reminder, keep up with the meditations and visualizing techniques that we did the first few weeks. So that was, and you're going to hear this from me every video, just as a reminder, creating your mental perfect you, visualizing that very clearly. Again, that's to be done in the morning before you get out of bed and before you go to bed at night, so while you're in bed about to kind of go to sleep. And also the perfect mental world. Now that can be done also along those times, but as I mentioned in the video prior to this, or in chapter 7, I like to do this one, the mental world one, throughout my day. You know, like as I'm shopping, like something goes on, whoop, just go back up there, make sure everything is all good and clear in my space, and then carry on with my day. And as I do this, I'm also, even when I'm doing something good, even when I'm just, like I said before, cooking breakfast or cooking dinner, you know, I'm looking to move. I would like to move in the next like 2 or 3 years to like an ideal place. So I visualize myself in that perfect kitchen of mine, and how my bedroom is set up and the space for my son and all, you know, like all that stuff. I picture, as I'm going about my day here, how my life will be in like a year or 2 or whatever, however long it takes for me to get that ideal situation. So we're going to darken the screen now. There is no need for me to anxiously snatch and grab, to hoard and scrape, to cheat and squeeze my fellow man. I do not have to run after success and fortune. Instead, they kneel down at my feet and pay me homage. I need stoop to no subterfuges, no low cunning, no doubtful methods, for everything I need is mine. All that I desire comes to me by the operation of natural law. I realize now that I am one with and form part of the infinite mind. I realize that the infinite mind is everything there is, and that everything there is the infinite mind. Therefore, as I am a part of the infinite mind, I too am all things, and all things are in me. Therefore, everything I can possibly require, peace of mind and health of body, achievement of friends, love, prosperity, success, these are all mine. They hasten to minister my eternal joy. I am a magnet. I attract to myself only the highest good. I am attuned only to the highest vibration of health, success, accomplishment, happiness. The lower vibrations of disease, failure, want, and unhappiness can find no echo in my mind, no manifestation in my life. I am in my inner, higher, better self, a radiant and sublime mental being, partaking of the nature of the infinite mind, of which I form a part, and in whom I live and move and have my being. I pour out unstintedly upon my fellows my best work and efforts, my richest thoughts and emotions. I give to the world the very best that is in me. Yet the more unselfishly I give, the more richly I am blessed. the more abundantly our lives' choicest gift showered upon me. I hope that you enjoyed this chapter as much as I did. Thank you so much for your love and support. I appreciate it so very much. From the bottom of my heart, as always, namaste.